Same kind of question I asked KG. LeBron James' comments were blank.
Inappropriate, whiny, all the above. The Cleveland Cavaliers, they have given him everything he wanted. They have the highest payroll in NBA history. He wanted J.R. Smith last summer. They paid him. He wanted Shumpert last summer. They bought in Kyle Korver. He's the best player in the world. Does he want all the good players? He don't want to compete. He is an amazing player. But this notion, they're the defending champs. And for him to be trying to hold anything over Dan Gilbert's head, and I love all these wild punk-ass reporters on television who's afraid to call out LeBron. LeBron's a great player and a great guy. But this notion that he's got to have all the best players on his team. He's got Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. He wants everybody. He don't want to compete. He want to be the favorite all the time. It just pisses me off that a guy that great don't want to compete.
His comments were what, Kenny?
Inappropriate. And
you stole his answer.
Yeah, it was inappropriate. And
you cheated off my test. That's why he's successful today.
But I'll tell you what. Everyone has a perspective. This is our perspective. But we can't understand your perspective when you are the best player in the world. We can't understand your perspective when you have 2 All-Stars. We just can't understand it. So it's like the guy who says, well, you know, I got a Lamborghini, I got a Bentley and a Ferrari, but I need an everyday car, man, to get. We can't understand that perspective, man. I'm sorry. You have 3 of the best cars in the world. So, and you need an everyday Chevy to get you around, a U-Haul, things around. We can't have sympathy for you. You could have that perspective, but we can give you no sympathy when you are LeBron James, the best player in the world, with all of those tools, top-heavy tools. We cannot have any sympathy. That's my understanding of it.
Shaq.
His comments were inappropriate, but Chuck, don't ever say LeBron doesn't want to compete. Does he need all the good players on this team to win? Yes. You know, it's inappropriate because I think in a professional manner, he could have went upstairs. You know, they have great history, they have some bad history, but, you know, the history was rekindled. He should have went upstairs.
But you don't think there's something wrong with even wanting more?
No, let me
like
finish.
from where you are now? You don't think that there is something fundamentally wrong?
Something fundamentally
like with
wrong.
saying that he wants more.
You played for a team that had Big 4. You forgot about that? You, Akeem, Scotty.
First of all,
it doesn't matter.
That wasn't even close.
It doesn't matter.
No, it's not even close.
It doesn't matter.
We were all old men way past our prime.
It doesn't matter.
This guy just won the championship. He got a young Kyrie Irving and a terrific Kevin Love. And
yeah,
now,
but it takes more than that to win the championship.
They just won the championship. What do you mean it takes more?
Okay.
They just won the championship.
First of all, you know nothing about going back-to-back. I do and Kenny do. Listen, teams are coming at his head. They need more. They need a big shot Bob. They need a guy like Kenny Smith. They need a playmaker like LeBron said. It's only inappropriate because he went to the media. He should have went to Dan Gilbert and said, hey, I need help, boom, boom, boom. And they should have had a private conversation. But don't ever say LeBron don't want to compete.
Hey, listen, he says he needs help. Listen, he's the best player in the world. He's got plenty of help. Why don't he take it?
He's looking at, don't you think, looking at Golden State and saying, boy, they added Kevin Durant.
But that's none of his business, Ernie.
I know, but don't you think...
You want to be the GM for every team in the league now?
I'm just saying, don't you think that provides his view of where Cleveland is and their chances of repeating...
Cleveland's done everything. Ernie, they got the highest payroll in the league. They don't have any tradable parts.
I'm just trying to say why LeBron might be looking at that as saying,
go ahead.
He says, we're not as good, and they're better than they were.
He doesn't have that right because what Kevin Durant did was not ordinary. That was extraordinary. That doesn't happen in our lifetime. That's the first time that's happened in basketball lifetime, where a guy who was on a team that was up 3-1 and was about to go to the NBA Finals goes to the team that beats them. That doesn't happen. So you cannot compare what Golden State has to what the world has. LeBron James, regardless, is the best player in the world, the most difficult player to guard at this stage of his career.
But he has a
we
right
cannot have any sympathy for you.
And
we can't understand your perspective.
Let me say one thing,
That's
too.
all.
Looking for your
We're not saying that right or wrong.
Let me tell you something, Ernie.
But when you announce it to the media, you are looking for...
First of all, we don't even know what's going to happen in the finals. But if LeBron James is able to beat the Golden State Warriors or the San Antonio Spurs, his legacy is going to grow through the roof. But this notion, listen, the Cleveland Cavaliers have the highest payroll in the NBA.
I'm granting you that. I understand that.
But Ernie, wait, Ernie, this ain't like a 7-Eleven. You can just go in and buy anything. They're trying to make trades. They got lucky getting Kyle Korver. Like, Kyle Korver's a good player. They gave up Mike Dunleavy, who wasn't even playing. But this ain't like you can just say, hey, let me go get this player here, there. They got the highest payroll in the league. They paying $40, $50 million in luxury.
If they were under the cap, he might have a point. But when you're the highest paid team in the NBA.
By far.
You don't have a leg to stand on when you make that comment. Now, you could say, we need to make our young guys who are here, we need to get them ready quicker and figure out a way, because you have no movable income and movable parts because you are the highest paid team. You did everything that you could do. You spent the most.
And that's why I said he should have had that conversation with Dan Gilbert instead of going to the media.
Okay.
And that's the only problem we have with it, Shaq.
No, you're saying he don't want to compete. Do he want to have the best player? Yeah, he want to have the best player.
We all want the best players, but he's the defending NBA champion.
And
they act like they
players.
don't have a chance. They have a chance. He's the best player in the world.
That's okay, and they need better players.
Let's switch gears to the Chicago. Let's switch gears to the Chicago situation. Could things be any worse in that locker room right now? You have Butler and Wade after the game, and then you have Rondo the next day seemingly taking shots at those guys.
No, he did. He took shots.
Yeah, I mean,
but first of all, Rondo was 100% correct. You know, those two guys, one guy's won championship, one guy's a good player. It's easy to blame everybody else instead of trying to make those guys around them better. Ernie, they have blown 2 10-point leads with 2 minutes to go with Wade and Butler. They have to take some responsibility for that. This is very simple to me. Dwayne Wade has been a hell of a player. He's an aging superstar. Miami did not want to pay him. They let him go. He thought it'd be a great story, him going back to Chicago. They stink, and he wants to get out. That's plain and that's simple.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Chuck, and I agree with Rondo, honestly, because you look at, I played with one of the best players ever played, Hakeem Olajuwon. When he was frustrated at one time at the team, he called out a guy in the locker room. He said, Adrian Caldwell, if you don't come to practice early with me and play me one-on-one, we know you don't want to play now. We know you don't want to play. What happens? The next 15 days, him and Adrian Caldwell playing one-on-one every day. Adrian starts getting to the lineup. A lot of times when guys are talking into the microphone, as Kevin said it, I felt like I was on Kevin Garnett's team, and I'm listening. I got a bird's-eye view of what he says to his team. That was probably the best Area 21 I've seen. But the fact that he comes in and able to say it to all you got to do is walk over. Hey, Chuck, man, I got a problem. You're not passing the ball out to double team. But when you go into the microphone and say it, it's almost like a cop-out, and it's a little cowardly because you don't want to face the music. It almost feels cowardly to your team mates when you do that first, when you don't do that last. Now, if you've done that and you've gone through all of these routes, and you're like, I've talked to him, I went here, I've talked to management, I've talked to coaches. We're not ready to play. That's a whole different story. And I think it creates a better environment and it sends a better message.
Ernie, I've did both. I have player-only meetings. We fight in the locker room. I, called them out in the media. I think it's a test. I think the problem has started because Rondo is having problems with the coaching staff. That right there can split the locker room a little bit. And then, I don't like to call out coaches, but I think this is the wrong coach for that type of team. You need a special individual with certain leadership qualities to get everybody to come together.
Jesus.
Was it good? Was it bad?
Just Jesus.
That's
the only way that team gonna be good. You got Benny
Chuck,
Hinn.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
Jimmy Swaggart. Only God can help that team. They awful.
back with more in just a moment.